Hey, I'm Josh. If you're stuck in a loop, same job, same excuses, same I'll sort it out later mindset, this is the channel for you. Let's talk about being stuck. Picture this, you're 24, you're in a retail job or some kind of hospitality job, doesn't really matter. Maybe you want to study, but the timing just hasn't felt right. Every night you're doom scrolling, you're dreaming about smashing big goals, but every morning you're waking up, same routine, back to the grind. You're just stuck in the same spot. That was exactly me. And for years, I jumped from job to job. I was always thinking one day I'll fix this. One day the perfect plan will just drop on my lap. Just like you though, I wasn't lazy. I was just stuck dreaming about tomorrow instead of acting today. 7 years ago, I just hit a point where I couldn't stand myself anymore. I was 24, completely fed up with myself. No one else was going to fix the situation for me. So I started small. I started learning about being disciplined, experimenting with certain mental hacks, creating systems to stay accountable. Slowly but surely, I broke free from my loop. But at first, I faced something terrifying, accepting full responsibility for every choice that I made. And the day that I did and accepted responsibility for myself, things started to change. I stopped being a passenger in my life, and I finally took the wheel. Here's the key lesson. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline is what carries you through. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades away. Now at 32, I'm not here to act like my life is perfectly put together, or even that I'm following these principles every day of my life. But what I can tell you is that when I do follow these principles, when I stay disciplined, I see results. Things improve, my life gets better. I'm not here to sell you simple solutions to life's problems, but this channel is about genuine progress, discipline that actually sticks, clarity that cuts through the noise, and strength without needing to shout about it. I want to give you practical tools that I wish I had when I was 18. I want to give you 2 examples that show you exactly what I mean by this. First up, we've got Zach. Zach pays for a gym membership and he goes once a week. He does this for a little while, but eventually the motivation just fades away. The real trick here is discipline, creating a plan to go once a week for the first month. Then for the second month, plan to go twice a week. Set these goals so that you've got a vision in mind. This will keep you disciplined and it will actually form a habit rather than trying to rely on motivation. Motivation is kind of like the spark and discipline is the real fire. Soon, discipline, not motivation, creates a strong, lasting habit. And 6 months later, potentially Zach's transformed his body, his mind, his mentality around how to improve himself. He takes those lessons and he starts using them in other aspects of his life. Next up, we've got Jake. Jake's keen to leave his job. He hates it, can't stand his current job. He's just struggling to even start looking for work or a resume or anything. So again, set yourself a plan. This week, I'm going to write half a page of my resume. Next week, I'm going to start looking on this job site and I'm going to at least look at 5 jobs. Small, disciplined actions trick your brain into believing you're achieving goals and you're winning. I learned this the hard way, but let me help you skip past my mistakes. Here's your first step, and don't overcomplicate it. Grab a piece of paper, a pen, a phone, whatever, just to write something down. Set a goal for tomorrow or for next week, but just set a goal. It needs to be achievable and it needs to be something you know that you can do. Could be walk for 10 minutes, could be read a page of a book. It sounds tiny, but you'll gain momentum and you'll start to change your life's direction. Stick around, I'll show you how to smash through your loops and build a life that you're genuinely proud of. If you're tired of spinning your wheels, hit subscribe. Leave a comment below. What's one loop you're stuck in at the moment? I'll be reading every single one. Take a quick pause, think about what's holding you back and drop it in the comments. If you've hit a point in your life where it feels like everything's rinse and repeat, same job, same thoughts, no real traction, this is the channel for you. Because it just starts with one decision. Last video, we talked about what it means to be stuck in a loop, where every day feels the same, big dreams stay dreams, and nothing really changes. If that hit home, today's about what comes next, how to stay focused properly. Now, here's what happens to most of us. It definitely happened to me. You have that moment where you're finally ready to change and you've had enough. You just want more from life. So you do what seems logical. You try to fix everything all at once. Gym, diet, new habit, getting up early in the morning, hustle mode. It's like trying to shoot 5 targets all at once. Looks impressive, never hits anything. You write it all down, you get pumped up, you're all excited, ready to go. And that lasts for 3 days, maybe a month, maybe a couple of months. I mean, heck, for me, it would last for several months before I just burn out. You quit, you scroll, you repeat. Sound familiar? It's not really a motivation problem. It's a problem with focus. After you break through that first loop of just not really doing anything, there's a second loop that nobody really talks about. The do everything now trap. And every extra decision just costs you energy. That's why by Wednesday, you're already done. Focus isn't about doing less. It's just about expending energy in the right places when it actually matters. See, at this point, you might be thinking you just don't have any discipline. But the truth is, you're probably just not giving yourself the chance to build it. And look, to be honest, that's how I normally am as well. I was aiming at 10 different things and never really hitting any of them. I just got sick of starting over. So I stripped everything back and I said to myself, right, gym, that's what I'm going to focus on this year. Go 3 days a week. That's it. No side hustle, no diet plan, just the gym and consistently. And here's the thing, it kind of worked. Not because I magically became disciplined. It just gave my brain one job. It gave my brain a singular purpose. It gave me a job I could actually just finish. And to be honest, that consistency's made me proud. It's really helped me build momentum. And without trying to, other parts of my life have steadily improved as well. I sleep better sometimes. I'm not normally a good sleeper anyway. I feel sharper, and on top of that, my confidence is back. That's what focus does. One win leads to another, leads to another. One win creates room for the next. Focus is how you reset your compass. One goal gives you direction. One win gives you proof. And proof, it gives you belief in yourself. And you're probably watching this now thinking, so what is it that I focus on? What is it that I do next? Well, here's your next step. Finish watching this video, then open your phone, go to notes, write down 3 things you want to change or achieve. Doesn't have to be deep, could be get stronger, read more, sort your finances, just write. Now pick one, only one, the one that actually gets you really fired up. The one that if you nailed it, you'd feel like you're back on track. Now write this, for 30 days, I will, and then insert your goal here. That's it. That's your contract to yourself. And here's the thing, don't move the goalposts. You're really going to want to, but you just have to resist it. Like I was saying before, don't turn one win into 10 half-baked, half-done ideas. You don't need to change your entire life in a month. This is not a race, this is a marathon. You just need one thing to start that ripple effect. And yeah, to be honest, it'll feel pretty boring. But boring is where real change happens. Consistency is greater than intensity every time. So real quick recap. One goal, 30 days, no add-ons, no changes, just show up, build discipline, stack wins. You want more tools like this, ways to build focus, develop discipline, and lead your life? Hit that subscribe button. It's right there, click it. Every week I drop a new video that builds on the last, like this one did, the first video. And if you haven't watched that one, finish this one and go back and watch the last. Now, I want to hear from you. What's your goal that you're going to lock in for the next 30 days? Pause the video for 10 seconds, write it down in the comments. I'll read every single one. And if you're feeling stuck, honestly, just write something. That's your first step. Ever set a goal and found yourself quitting a week later? I've been there and a lot. But today, we're breaking that cycle. You're probably wondering, how is it that you actually get that done? This video is going to cover exactly that, building a system that keeps you showing up even on your worst days. Later, I'll show you how to bulletproof this system so it survives even the worst bumps. If you haven't picked your goal yet, that's okay. After this, go check out my 1 goal rule video. Here's the deal. Goals are great, but without a system, they just kind of float around. You start strong, but by week 2, something throws you off. You miss a day, then you miss 2, then you're back to 0. A system is a simple structure that keeps you moving even when motivation's nowhere to be found. All right, here's a quick breakdown of what a simple, solid system looks like. First up, you've got your trigger. Decide exactly when and where you'll do the action. Make it obvious. For example, after brushing my teeth, I do 10 push-ups. I know that sounds silly, but it's going to keep you going. Or when I sit at my desk, I write 1 sentence. Here's the thing, triggers already run your life. You watch a movie, you reach for snacks. You get paid, you immediately spend it. On the topic of triggers, I used to have a terrible payday routine. As soon as that paycheck landed, I took it as a green light to just spend away. I'd buy new games, clothes, shout dinners to my mates, and feel great for about 2 days. Then reality would hit. I'd look at my account and realize I'm stuck eating eggs on toast or ramen for the next week. Then I decided to flip this trigger and make it into something that worked for me instead of against me. Now every payday, I have a solid routine. The moment my pay hits, I open my bank app, I transfer it into the accounts that are relevant to bills, food, and some fun stuff. Food's now sorted for the entire fortnight instead of just the first week. And the fun stuff is now budgeted for, so I can enjoy it without feeling guilty or going overboard. Instead of payday controlling me, I've turned it into a positive. The action has now become automatic. And now payday sets me up for 2 weeks of peace rather than panic. Part 2 of the system, minimum action. This is the easiest version of your goal that still counts as progress. Not 100 push-ups, just 10. Not an hour workout, just 10 minutes. It should feel easy, almost too easy to skip. And you'll find that by doing this, sometimes you'll set 10 minutes, you'll do 15, you'll do 20 because you're already on a roll. Part 3 of this system is a tracker. Now, this is really important. Keep a simple record of your progress. Calendar, sticky notes, your notes app, or even a whiteboard. Seeing your progress is powerful. It makes you want to keep going. Here's what this might look like in action. This is what it looks like for me. When I finish work, I jump onto my Notion dashboard, answer some key questions about my day, and tackle simple tasks. 30 minutes researching, writing one script paragraph, and hitting the gym. Sundays, I review and set up for the next week. Immediately start working on my next video. My Notion dashboard, which keeps everything in an easy to manage one single spot. This system works because it doesn't rely on my mood. It's automatic. Here's a critical truth. Deciding each day whether to do something already costs you half the battle. Decide once, set the system, and let it carry the weight. Think of your goal like a train journey. The goal is your destination, but the system is the track. Without the tracks, your train's not going anywhere. This goes back to my first point. Goals are great, but if you don't have a plan on how to achieve those goals, it can be really hard to hit the mark. It can also be really hard to just get started. And yeah, I mean, technically a train could probably move without the tracks, but imagine how much easier it is on those tracks. Now, here's exactly what I want you to do. Clearly restate your 30-day goal, pick your trigger, what daily habit will kick off your action. Decide your minimum action, keep it simple and achievable, choose a visible tracker to record your daily wins. But here's the key, don't watch this video and move on without taking action. More information without action is just another loop and you need to break that now. Pause the video, grab your phone, grab a pen and paper, whatever helps, and set up your system. Keep it simple, or even better, use my free Notion dashboard. It's in the link below. It syncs across all your devices and simplifies your process. Systems beat motivation every single time. I can't state that enough. All right, you got your system? Drop it in the comments now. Here's my system, trigger, action, tracker. I'll reply and help fine tune it with you. Here's something that will massively improve your success. And it's one thing I really want you to think about. It's your why. Your goal needs roots. It's as simple as that. If you're doing something because it sounds good or somebody else told you to do it, it won't stick. But if your goal truly matters, if you deeply understand why it will change your life, then it's going to be rock solid. Take the creation of this channel, for instance. My why? To be the person that I needed when I was 18, back when I felt a bit lost and I was stuck in a loop and I was just unsure of how to move forward. But I didn't just stop there. I dug deeper and asked myself why again. And the why really is because if I had the systems I'm sharing with you today, if I had the advice that I'm sharing with you, back then, my life would probably look fairly different to what it does now. Instead of drifting through my late teens and early 20s, trying to figure out who I was, what I wanted in life, I'd have found my purpose and my deeper motivations way earlier. That's why this channel exists. That's my why, to share what I've learned the hard way. So you don't necessarily have to go through years of feeling stuck and lost like I did. It's about giving you the tools that I wish I had, tools that can help you create structure, build discipline, and actually move towards the life you want. Okay, now that you've got your why, here are some other things that will absolutely bulletproof your goal. Have a bounce back rule. Mine is never miss twice. Let your systems grow gradually. Level it up slowly. Stack your new habits into existing ones. Solid routines. Keep the bar low. Make your minimum action easily doable. Embrace boredom. Boring tasks are sustainable and build streaks. And just to clarify, keep the bar low for your minimum actions. With your goal, it can be as big as have $1 million in your bank account, but your minimum action would be save an extra $100 this week. And eventually you will have to raise that bar. But for now, let's keep it low. All right, you now have some tools, some understanding. But remember, knowing isn't doing. Actions change everything. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Each video builds on the last, creating momentum that moves your life forward. And one last thing, you want a ready-made system? Like I said, download my Notion template. It's simple to use. Click on the link, hit the button at the top right, duplicate, sign up. You're done. All you need is an email. You can download the Notion app on your phone through the App Store or through Play Store. You can even download it on a tablet or a laptop. If you're under 30 and feel like school didn't prepare you for real life, you're not alone. Most young guys get out into the world and realize they never learned how to manage money, cook a decent meal, stay productive, or even build a solid routine. That's why today we're diving into 5 essential life skills every guy should build before hitting 30. These are practical, no-nonsense skills that'll set you apart from the crowd and actually help you build a life you respect. First up, let's talk money. Most of us didn't learn how to budget in school. Managing money well can make or break your 20s and beyond. And the first step, getting real about where your cash is going. Start by tracking every dollar you spend for a week. Seriously, every single dollar. Don't change your habits just yet. Just see where your money goes. After that week, sit down and look at your spending. I guarantee something will surprise you. Maybe it's that Uber Eats habit or those quick stops at the servo. It adds up. Once you've tracked it, it's time to get intentional. Use the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for needs, rent, bills, groceries, 30% for wants, eating out, new clothes, subscriptions, and 20% for savings or paying off debt. This doesn't need to be set in stone. Just adjust it to fit your lifestyle. The key is making sure your needs are covered before anything else. Back when I had my first kind of real job, I thought I had my spending sorted. I budget roughly in my head, but come to the end of the pay period, I was broke again. One payday, I decided to actually track every expense for a week. The results were pretty brutal, to be honest. I'd spent over $100 on takeout and snacks. That's when I realized that being vague with my budget wasn't working. Tracking it opened my eyes to where my money was leaking. That's when I implemented the 50-30-20 rule. I automated my savings and I finally started seeing a difference. Next steps, automate your savings. Treat it like a bill. Set up a separate account and have a portion of your pay go straight into it. You don't see it, you don't spend it. That's how you build up a buffer without even thinking about it. Now, set up some financial goals. Maybe it's saving $1,000, paying off a credit card, or putting money towards a trip. Whatever it is, write it down. Like we mentioned in the previous videos, having a goal in general is useful. And don't forget to review your budget regularly, at least once a month. Adjust when needed, but don't get discouraged if it's not perfect. And here's something really helpful. Keep your money visible. Make your budget impossible to ignore. Whether it's a sticky note on your fridge or a digital widget on your phone, seeing your savings grow in real time is really quite powerful. Seeing that progress makes you want to keep pushing forward. And remember this, the quickest way to make more money is simply to save more money. All right, now you've got the foundations for budget. Next up, cooking. Cooking isn't just a life skill. It ties back into budgeting. It helps you control your money and offers you a little bit more freedom in your life. Stop relying on takeout and learn to cook a few solid meals. You don't need to be a chef or even like cooking. Just need to know how to feed yourself without spending a fortune. When I moved out of home, I thought I could survive on complex meals and takeout. That gets old super fast, and it drains your wallet even faster. I decided to learn 3 meals I could cook well. First, a basic stir fry that I could tweak with whatever was in the fridge. Next, spaghetti and meatballs that don't taste like cafeteria food. And finally, grilled chicken and veggies. Mastering these 3 made a huge difference, not just nutritionally, but also in how confident I felt about taking care of myself. I started simple. That's what you should do next as well. Make them so often they become second nature. And then to level this up again, start batch cooking. Batch cooking is your friend. Set aside a day to prep meals for the week. It saves time, money, and stops you from reaching for Uber Eats when you're tired. Get some decent storage containers, portion your meals, and you're set. Cooking isn't just for foodies. A lot of guys think cooking is complicated or require fancy ingredients. I know I was like that. It absolutely doesn't. Learn the basics, like sauteing veggies, cooking pasta right, and safely handling chicken. YouTube has a ton of free tutorials like this. I'll link to some of my favorite videos that will show you the basics to help you get going. Pick a few techniques and master them. Learn a few basics and you'll be able to make good, solid meals on a budget. Plus, it's a confidence boost when you can whip up something good without relying on takeout. And never shop hungry. It sounds basic, but it's science. Shopping on an empty stomach makes you buy way more junk. Write a list, stick to it, and you'll save money and avoid impulse buys. And always keep your pantry stocked with basics: rice, beans, pasta, canned tomatoes, and some spices. That way you can always throw something together, even when the fridge looks bare. And if you can, buy your protein in bulk. Separate and freeze so you always have a protein in hand. Here are some of the groceries that I generally buy, and some staple seasonings that just make things a whole lot simpler. For my chicken, I typically air fry it or oven bake it just so that batch cooking is more straightforward. For mincemeat, or ground beef as you call it in America, I tend to cook that in a big pan or pot, again, just to make batch cooking easier. Storing the meat separately so I can mix and match wraps and veggies, rice and pasta or salad. If you're like me and you need variety, this is a way to save money while keeping things a bit more varied. Think about cooking as self-care. It's not just about eating, it's taking control of what goes into your body and not just letting convenience decide your diet. All right, moving on. Next life skill, morning routines. How you start your day sets the tone for everything else. You don't need to wake up at 5 a.m, but you do need consistency. Pick a wake up time you can stick to, even on weekends. And that's the super important part. Your body thrives on routine, and having a consistent start makes the whole day smoother. When I was in my early 20s, working late nights, I used to sleep in as long as I possibly could. I hated working night shift, and so I'd end up rushing out the door half awake, and my day would feel just absolutely chaotic. When I started setting my alarm just a little bit earlier, 15 minutes, I had time to make myself a coffee or grab an energy drink. It helped me collect myself a bit better so that I didn't forget anything when I was going to work, or, I had time to actually brush my teeth. And so one of the things you can do as well, get moving. When you wake up, you don't have to hit the gym right away, just stretch or take a quick walk. A little movement wakes your body up and your brain. And it might be a good idea to jot down some priorities that morning, 3 priorities for the day. Knowing what needs to be done before anything else makes you feel more in control. This will also make you think more actively about your day. If you can't think of 3 things, then it might be a sign you're simply in autopilot. Taking that time will give you the opportunity to really take stock of your time, so you can more effectively allocate it. It might even get rid of that age-old excuse that you don't have time for any exercise. On that note, let's talk about fitness. Exercise isn't just about looking good, it's a foundational habit for a healthier and longer life. Studies have consistently shown that regular physical activity can reduce the risk of chronic diseases, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even certain types of cancer. The World Health Organization recommends at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per week, or about 20 to 30 minutes over 5 days. That could be a brisk walk, a light jog, or even some cycling, some swimming. If you want to maximize efficiency, aim for at least 3 sessions a week of 20 minutes, each focused on moderate intensity strength training. Incorporating muscle strengthening exercises on 2 or more days a week helps build muscular fitness and improve metabolic health. Additionally, research suggests that around 5,000 to 6,000 steps per day, about 15 to 20 minutes of walking per day, can already yield significant health benefits. And this includes for your heart, your lungs, and it lowers the risk of your overall mortality. The best part, you don't have to spend hours at the gym to see results. Consistency is the game changer. Even small, regular amounts of movement add up, giving you better energy, mood, and long-term health outcomes. You don't need to be a gym bro, but you do need a routine that works for you. Again, start small, 15 to 20 minutes, a few times a week. Walking, light stretching, or bodyweight exercises are enough to build the habit. The goal isn't to become a beast overnight, it's to make physical activity a non-negotiable part of your life. When I first tried to go to the gym, I went all in. No, seriously, I did. I bought supplements and even new gear. I'd hit the gym hard for a couple of months, and then I'd burn out. And then I'd kind of go a couple of days here, a couple of days there, but not seriously anymore. The problem wasn't the gym, it was my mindset. I was going too big, too fast. Eventually, I switched to short, manageable sessions, so 30 to 40 minutes of a structured program. And once that became a habit, I started adding more challenging workouts. I built up slowly, and that made all the difference. I can't stress this enough. Do not overdo it to begin with. If you go ham, your first few sessions, you'll put yourself out of commission for days, and then you'll hate it. Take your time learning the movements. Take your ego out of it, and eventually you can work your way to heavier weight and more complex sessions. You don't have to just lift weights. You don't have to just go running, but you do need to find something you enjoy. If you hate running, don't force it. I personally do not enjoy running unless I'm playing rugby or some kind of sport. Maybe you enjoy swimming, cycling, or a casual game of basketball, or eagle tag, whatever you like. The best fitness routine is the one you can actually stick to. The trick is to make it fun. Some things that worked for me was joining a social sports team, going for hikes or walks through a nature track, those kinds of things. Fitness doesn't have to just be hitting the weights or running at the gym. That's not your thing. And here's where most people mess up. They just don't track. They don't track their wins. So keep it simple. Again, as always, write down what you did, how long you did it, and how it felt. Seeing even small progress keeps you going. Use a journal, a fitness app, or even a simple calendar. If you watched my last video, you'll know I have a free personal dashboard that will keep all of your tracking in one place. The link is in the description. Again, one thing that worked for me, but that was making fitness social. Accountability really levels up your chances of success. If you have a mate who also wants to get fit, team up, commit to a weekly workout, or challenge each other to hit a step count. Sharing progress, even if it's just a message saying, I did my workout today, keeps you on track. Plus, it's way easier to push through a tough session when somebody's there with you. One of my best mates and I lost around 10 kilos last year by doing this. So again, it does work by having somebody there accountable with you. Sharing our weigh-ins and progress made it so much easier to stick to. It's not about looking like a superhero, it's about being able to do more with your life. Hiking without getting winded, having energy enough to go out and get shit done, and in general, just feeling good in your own body. Physical strength translates to mental strength, and once you've built that foundation, everything feels a bit easier. Like with anything in life, YouTube makes learning this stuff easy, especially if you're new to exercise. As with the other topics, I'll leave links to channels I watch all the time and specific videos that I think will give you a good foundation for these skills and good places to start. Next up, we're going to talk about mental resilience and stress management. Life can hit hard. Sometimes whether it's pressure from work, relationships, or just feeling stuck, stress is a part of the game. Building mental resilience doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending to be tough all the time. It's about learning simple ways to keep your head straight when things get tough. Why does mental resilience matter? Well, building resilience means you're better equipped to handle life's curveballs. Studies have shown that having strong mental resilience can lower your risk of anxiety and depression, improve your ability to problem solve, and boost overall life satisfaction. Think of it like being a rubber band. You might stretch and strain, but you bounce back instead of snapping. And a crucial part of this is spotting the stress before it takes over. Here's the thing, it builds up gradually. You don't just wake up one day completely overwhelmed. It creeps up on you bit by bit. Try to train yourself to spot the signs early. And if you start feeling like shit, ask yourself, why am I feeling off right now? Like, what could it be? It could be as simple as a tight chest or a feeling of restlessness. Just identifying it helps you break the cycle before it really spirals out of control. Here are some practical ways you can keep stress in check. One is the 60-second reset. When stress builds up, give yourself just about a minute to breathe deep. You take a few deep breaths, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds, hold, 6 seconds out. You repeat this a few times. It sounds simple, a little bit weird, but honestly, it works. It actually signals your body to calm down. Something that I really take part in is a bit of like a 1 minute tidy. When your space is a mess, your head feels cluttered too. Set a timer for 1 minute and just clear one small area, desk, shelf, whatever it is within reach. You'd actually be surprised how a tiny bit of order can make you feel more in control. Another thing, quick hit of movement. Stress sits in your body as well, not just in your mind. Get up and move, even if it's just a few push-ups, a walk around the block, or stretching. Physical activity releases tension and helps break the stress loop. Something I've noticed about myself is that when my space is messy or disorganized, it slowly builds up in the back of my mind. At first, it's just a little bit of annoyance or tension, but as the mess grows, so does the stress. It's like the clutter around me starts to feel like mental clutter too. And one day I was talking to my wife about feeling overwhelmed, and she helped me figure out a simple fix, which was basically to stop, just pick one area that's bothering me and spend 10 minutes cleaning it up. You'll be amazed at how just one small action can break that mental tension. It's not about making the whole place spotless, it's just gaining back a sense of control and clearing enough space that I feel more in control. If you've got a mate, sibling, or partner who knows how to keep you grounded, let them know. When you're struggling, sometimes just having someone point out that you're stuck in a stress loop is enough to snap you out of it. Lean on your mates. Seriously, super easy, especially as a guy, to bottle up stuff. But sometimes just talking to somebody makes it feel more manageable. All right, we're going to build your mental toughness. Plan a low stakes challenge. Pick something small but consistent, like doing 20 push-ups every day for a week. It's not about the exercise itself. It's about proving to yourself that you can stick to something, even when you don't feel like it. Building small wins makes you mentally tougher. Ever think about where you'd be now if you'd stopped procrastinating a year ago? Today, we're making sure you never have to ask yourself that again. We've all been there. It's midnight and you've promised yourself you'd finally do something productive today. But instead, you spent the entire evening down a YouTube rabbit hole. You're scrolling endlessly or playing some random game you're not even into anymore, just to avoid doing what you've set out to do for the day. Sounds familiar, right? But today isn't about fluffy advice like just manage your time better. I'm going to tell you exactly why you procrastinate, show you how to spot it early, and give you specific and proven tools to finally break the cycle and actually get stuff done. And stick around because halfway through, I'll share a real life story of how procrastination almost ruined my chance at a career. And I'll share what finally turned things around. Still with me? Good, let's dive in. So what's happening when you procrastinate? What's actually happening when you procrastinate? First, let's get something clear. You're not lazy. You're not dumb. There's nothing wrong with you. Procrastination is literally wired into your brain. When you're facing a task that's boring, difficult, or overwhelming, your brain instinctively tries to keep you safe by doing something easier or more fun. Doing these easier tasks floods your brain with dopamine, that feel-good chemical. That's why scrolling TikTok feels so addictive, while starting that assignment, report, or side hustle feels like pulling teeth. Think of your brain kind of like an energetic puppy. Puppies don't care what's good for them. They just want treats and playtime. Put a puppy in a room with homework and toys. Guess which one it's going to pick? Your brain is that puppy. It needs training to choose what's important, not just what's easy or fun. You might think putting things off isn't that harmful, but trust me, procrastination can mess up your life in some serious ways. Think about this. How many goals, dreams, or opportunities have you missed because you didn't start soon enough? Maybe you missed a job promotion, got bad grades, or maybe you missed out on important relationships or experiences. Let me be blunt. Procrastination doesn't just steal your time, it robs you of your confidence, your peace of mind, and your sense of achievement. Every unfinished task adds stress and anxiety, like an annoying background noise that's constantly buzzing in your head. Why can't you stop procrastinating? Well, that's a great question. Here's the thing. Your brain loves comfort and absolutely hates discomfort. It wants immediate rewards right now. It's biological. There's a psychological concept called temporal discounting, meaning your brain heavily favors immediate rewards over long-term gains. Eating cake today feels way better than having abs next summer, even though deep down you know you'd probably rather have the abs next summer. And here's the kicker. Procrastination is never really about the task itself, and that's something that you really need to understand. It's about how the task makes you feel, usually scared, bored, or overwhelmed. And here's a quick tip before we move on. If you're often overwhelmed because you're trying to tackle too much at once, watch my video. It'll be here somewhere on the 1 goal rule. After this one, of course. It'll simplify everything. Here are 3 common mistakes making your procrastinating even worse. Mistake number 1, waiting for motivation. If you're waiting until you feel motivated, you're going to wait forever. Motivation comes after action, from action, not the other way around. Number 2, trying to do everything at once. Big tasks feel impossible to start. The bigger the task, the less likely you'll begin. Mistake number 3, making excuses. Now, this is a big one. Saying things like, I work better under pressure, or I'll do it tomorrow. It just never works out. Stay with me, because now it's time for practical, no BS solutions, step by step. Shrink your tasks. Make tasks tiny, like ridiculously small. Personally use this trick for everything from meal prep to exercise and even washing dishes. Tiny tasks remove mental resistance. Instead of writing a whole essay, start with write 1 sentence. This approach works even better with a solid system. And I've got another video about systems. Transform your habits. Just go watch that after this. The 5-minute rule. Promise yourself you'll just work on a task for 5 minutes. If you still hate it, after that, you can stop. Usually once you've started though, you'll keep going. And it doesn't have to be exactly 5 minutes. Adjust this to your situation. Can't face an hour at the gym, commit to 20 minutes. Haven't read that book you bought 2 years ago? Just read 2 pages. It's as simple as that. Make it easy to start. Set yourself up the night before. So for instance, lay out your gym clothes, put your textbooks in plain sight, clear your workspace. Making starting frictionless is absolutely the best thing to do there. Reward yourself immediately following something you've done. So your brain loves instant rewards. Finish homework, watch an episode on Netflix. Complete a workout, enjoy your favorite healthy snack. Keep it simple and effective, but don't overdo it. You don't want to undo your efforts. Avoid Big Macs after the gym sessions. Get an accountability partner. Tell someone you trust about your goal. You naturally want to avoid disappointing others, so just knowing someone might check in makes it harder for you to slack off. In December 2011, at 18, I landed what I thought was my dream job, drilling for coal and gas, fly in, fly out. I made great money, was on track to buy my first house, until everything fell apart. In March of 2012, flooding shut down the site I was working on. As the newest hire, I was benched, just indefinitely. Suddenly, my dream was slipping away. Smart move was obvious, find a new job immediately. But instead, I procrastinated. This job pays great, it'll be fine. I convinced myself of that. Weeks turned into months. My savings evaporated. Suddenly, I was desperate. And by procrastinating, I'd lost all my leverage. The turning point really came when I admitted, you're just wasting your own life. Finally asked my best mate to hold me accountable. And after he gave me a friendly but firm kick up the ass, I took small actions. Day 1, I downloaded a resume template. Day 2, I filled it out. Day 3, I wrote a cover letter. By day 4, I was already sending out applications. It wasn't perfect, but perfection wasn't the goal. Taking action was. I got a new job, but more importantly, I learned this lesson. Every day you delay, life moves forward without you. That realization really helped change my life. Beating procrastination long-term means adopting the right mindset. And you need to start here. You need to start forgiving yourself. Everyone procrastinates. You're human. Drop the guilt. It's not helpful. Expect resistance. You won't always feel like doing it. There's not going to be a time where you're just comfortable with doing everything. Discomfort fades, but regret absolutely doesn't. Celebrate your progress, not perfection. Small steps matter. Progress beats perfection every day of the week. Let's be clear. You're watching this because procrastination has cost you something important. Opportunities, confidence maybe, and even peace of mind. You're tired of being stuck. The truth is, real change isn't instant. It comes from consistent small choices. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. You're still human, still imperfect, but significantly better. You're getting things done and you're feeling less anxious and more in control. That future is possible, but only if you start making small choices right now. Pick one thing you've been avoiding, set a timer for 5 minutes, and start it immediately after this video. It won't solve everything, but it's a powerful step in the right direction. Here's the quick and easy recap. Remember, you're not lazy. Your brain is just craving easy dopamine hits. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation comes after action. Break tasks down into tiny steps. Use the 5-minute rule and immediate rewards. One that's most powerful, for me at least, finding accountability. And finally, build the right mindset. Forgive yourself, expect resistance, and celebrate your small wins. Comment below one thing you always procrastinate on. Let's tackle it together. Sick of seeing your mates win while you're still stuck in the same spot? Today, I'm showing you exactly how to stop comparing yourself and finally start feeling proud of your own progress. Look, you've picked your goals, built some solid habits, and started kicking procrastination. That's massive, but now something else is popping up. Every time you scroll through socials or catch up with your mates, you still feel miles behind. 1 second you're proud of your small wins, then bam, someone posts about their promotion, new car, or a house, and suddenly you feel like you're failing again. Here's the brutal truth nobody tells you. Comparison is one of the biggest reasons young guys get stuck. It's invisible, it's toxic, and it steals your momentum right when you're finally making progress. Let me share something real quick. I didn't get my driver's license until I was 23. Yeah, I know, pretty late compared to most of my mates. The truth is, I was terrified. I've been in a lot of bad car accidents as a passenger, and the thought of being responsible for somebody else's life, other people's safety on the road, scared the absolute hell out of me. So I kept putting it off. But here's where comparison kicked in, and hard. Watching all my mates, even my younger brothers, getting their licenses, buying cars, just moving on with their lives, started to make me feel seriously left behind. Every time they pulled up in their cars, I felt this sharp reminder of what I didn't have. Eventually, that uncomfortable feeling, it actually pushed me to take action. But here's the catch. Instead of realizing I was only competing with myself and I just needed something simple and affordable, I let comparison cloud my judgment. I rushed out and I bought a car I could barely afford, thinking a nice car would somehow help me catch up to everyone else. What did that leave me with? Shiny set of wheels I couldn't afford, monthly repayments that drained my wallet, absolutely zero cash left to actually enjoy going out with my mates or actually taking trips. I'd won the comparison game temporarily, but I'd lost my financial freedom and my peace of mind. See, comparison can push you forward, sure, but if you let it control your choices, it will drag you backward just as fast. If I'd stopped for a moment and clearly defined what success actually looked like for me, rather than chasing someone else's idea of it, I'd have made a smarter choice, avoided financial stress, and still got to where I wanted to be, just without the burden. That's why defining your own game clearly is so crucial. Stick with me, I'll show exactly how I escaped this trap. Before we break free, let's get 3 key facts straight. Fact number 1, most people's online persona is their highlight reel. It's not real life. No one posts arguments with their girlfriend, nights spent anxious, or failed job applications. You only ever see people's wins. Fact number 2, comparison is mostly driven by insecurity. Your brain compares because it lacks its own clear definition of success. In fact number 3, everyone's secretly comparing themselves to. You're comparing yourself to your mates, but they're busy comparing themselves to someone else. It's an endless cycle, and nobody wins. Knowing this instantly diffuses comparison's power, but knowing isn't enough. You need practical tools. Don't skip ahead. Step 3 alone is the game changer. Here's my 3-step, no bullshit method to beat comparison. Clearly define your own game. You can't win at life if you're stuck playing someone else's game. Think about it. Why does seeing a mate's new car, promotion, or flashy lifestyle make you feel like crap? Because you're subconsciously chasing their version of success and not yours. For ages, I bought into this idea that success meant flashy cars, expensive clothes, and showing off to my mates. Deep down, didn't actually care about any of that. What really mattered to me was simple. Having enough money in the bank that I never felt stressed checking my balance. Getting fit enough that I felt genuinely good, not just looking good in a photo, and learning practical skills I actually value, not just chasing side hustles for the sake of hustle culture. But let's stop for a sec. There's something really important here. Hustle culture tells you that if you're not grinding 24/7 or building a side hustle, you're failing. But that's complete bullshit. You're trying to force yourself into side hustles, grinding constantly, is just crushing your motivation, draining your discipline, or burning you out, then one of these is probably true. You're chasing something you don't actually care about and you have no passion for. You're going after something you're not ready for yet. You've got some kind of skill gap. Or, and this is really important, you're chasing something that just isn't right for you. And that's completely okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're trying to chase somebody else's idea of success without any passion, skills, or authenticity. It's like playing their game without even knowing the rules, blindfolded with one arm tied behind your back. Let this be a prompt to you. Take 2 minutes out of your time today. Write down just 3 things you genuinely care about. Not stuff your mates think is cool, not stuff social media tells you to care about, not hustle culture garbage, just 3 real, genuine things that will make you feel proud and successful if you achieve them. Because here's the truth. You can't hit a target if you don't know where it is. Step 2 is really straightforward. Ruthlessly filter your inputs. Your environment shapes your mind. If your Instagram or TikTok feed makes you feel worse, mute, unfollow, or just delete the ads. This isn't cutting people off. It's just creating space to actually focus on yourself. Fill that gap with positive, constructive stuff, educational content, tutorials, people who motivate you to move forward, not sideways, and especially not backwards. Here's a quick stat to kind of prove my point. Studies have shown roughly half of young adults say social media makes them feel worse about their lives. I'll share a trick that makes you immune to comparison. Now, this step is the one that you absolutely can't miss. Play your game and take real immediate action. All right, you've defined your game. Awesome. Now it's time to actually play it. Knowing what matters to you means nothing if you don't start taking immediate action towards it. Let me break it down with a realistic scenario about a guy named Jake, someone just like you who took these steps. Jake sat down and defined exactly what mattered to him most. He wanted to buy his own home. He wanted a high-paying 6-figure job. He wanted to regularly catch up with his mates at least twice a week without feeling anxious about it or flaking out. And importantly, he realized a side hustle just wasn't for him. It drained him more than it energized him. So what did Jake do next? First, he took the home ownership goal seriously. Instead of vaguely dreaming about it or feeling overwhelmed, he immediately booked an appointment with a mortgage broker. Here in Australia, there are heaps of brokers who literally charge nothing for a consultation. When Jake sat down with the broker, the news wasn't easy to swallow. Mate, you'll probably need about 80 grand to comfortably get a home loan kind of thing. On Jake's current salary, that was a massive, daunting amount and might take him about 10 years if he stayed on his current path. Jake could have easily spiraled right here, right? But he didn't, because he defined his game. He knew exactly what success looked like to him. Instead of giving up, he moved to step 2, getting that higher paying job. With a clear target, a better paying job, Jake realized he needed a more valuable skill to get that better paying job. Did he complain about not knowing where to start? No. Jake immediately picked a skill he knew was high paying and he committed to learning it. Maybe it was learning some coding basics. Maybe it was becoming certified in project management. Point is, Jake acted immediately. Jake focused on improving his skills enough to land a higher paying job. And this massively cut down the timeline for his home ownership goal. Every extra dollar was proof that playing his own game rather than somebody else's actually works. Then there was his third goal, reconnecting with mates. Because Jake clearly defined this part of his success, he immediately started organizing bi-weekly events. Nothing fancy, just simple stuff like pizza nights or watching the footy together. Every time Jake hung out with his mates without flaking and allowing his anxiety to win, he felt successful. His life was genuinely richer for it. And the side hustle he ditched, he stopped feeling guilty about it. He realized chasing someone else's version of hustle culture success had been holding him back, draining energy from goals he genuinely cared about. Dropping the side hustle actually freed him up to genuinely succeed. Jake was winning at life because he defined his own game, took real practical steps towards it. Steps he could actually see, feel, and measure. And you might think, sure, but Jake knew exactly what to do. What if I don't? Well, here's the secret. Neither did Jake at first, but he got honest with himself and genuinely gave himself the time to figure it out. Once he had a rough idea, he asked somebody who already achieved what Jake wanted, owning a home, landing a solid job, and keeping friendships together. Somebody who could mentor and coach him. If you don't have someone in your immediate circle, that's okay, but I'd highly recommend finding someone who can mentor you. Could even be someone who you know who is successful in the way you want to be. Or even drop your question right here in the comments. I'll reply personally. Picture yourself 3 months from today. Not years, just 3 months. You've sat down, you've spoken to someone who knows how buying a house actually works. You've got a clear savings goal. You might not have 80K yet, but you've started to build momentum and your savings are visibly growing. You're working on learning a new skill to level up your income, and each week you're genuinely seeing progress. Maybe you've even landed a better paying job or a raise. You're regularly seeing your mates because you made a simple but effective plan for it, and it feels genuinely good. No more flaking, no more guilt. Best of all, you stop chasing side hustles or random goals you don't actually care about. You're clear-headed, calm, and confident because you know exactly what success means to you, and you're making real-world moves towards it every single day. Here's a quick recap. Comparison steals joy because you're chasing someone else's version of success. Clearly define your game. What actually matters to you. Take immediate, practical action. Speak to a broker, learn a skill, or organize a simple catch-up with your mates. Find a mentor, or ask someone who's further ahead for clear next steps. Right now, go comment below just one thing that genuinely matters to you, not what you're supposed to care about. I'll reply with a personal suggestion to help you take the first actionable step. Don't forget, hit subscribe. Next video, I'll be breaking down how to stay disciplined even when your schedule's chaotic. And remember, progress over perfection.